Well, here we are again, guys. Hunting season's just around the corner. We're already seeing the leaves change and everything. So I decided to bring out this little guy. It's going to be a Spanish-made CVA Hawken Rifle in 54 caliber, and it's going to be a flintlock. Before we get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to our friends over there at Workaday Custom Gun Leather, made custom to order. Link is in the description. Go ahead and check them out. So let's get moving on this thing. So this is going to be a black powder rifle. It's not a rifled musket. This is a bona fide rifle, Hawken rifle actually, and it's got a flintlock firing mechanism. Meaning is you got to pour the powder in the pan, bring the frizzen down, and then when you pull the trigger, you're going to strike it with the flint, which will in turn send a spark down on the powder, which will send it into the barrel. It'll ignite your main charge, and off it goes. So let's give you a look at her right here. Now it is in rough shape. It is an old kit gun. I think it's from the 70s maybe, but believe me, when I received it, it was in much worse condition. The barrel was rust out, hadn't been cleaned in years. Anybody who's dealt with black powder knows if you don't clean that residue out, it's going to rust and corrode and cause nothing but problems. So I showed her a little bit of TLC, and now she is in fine operating order. So what inspired me to do the flintlock today? Well, like I mentioned before, fall season's coming in, and it also means hunting season. So in a lot of states, you either can't use cartridge weapons or you can only use straight wall. There's specific seasons for primitive and black powder only. Now, you can be real simple about it and get an inline, one of the modern deals, but here at Rifleman 2.0, we kind of fancy toward the older stuff, the more traditional. So why go with a flintlock? Again, and when we could just go with a cap lock, so much easier, more reliable ignition. Well, it's interesting. Okay, this ignition system has been around for 300 plus years, maybe. For God's sake, they fought wars with these things. You know, at the time, you had nothing better to work with, and it's a lot more reliable than they're known for. So right now you're asking the question, okay, well, how does this thing actually work? So like I briefly showed you, you put a little bit of powder in there, close this is called a frizzen, and you pull it back to the half cock. Now it's got two triggers on there, and this is an old beat up gun. The set trigger, the one that turns the front one into a hair trigger, no longer functions. I got to take it apart still and have a look at it, but as of right now it don't work. But watch closely, you'll see where the flint meets the steel, and just now you saw the spark, and it pushed it down into the pan, which would have ignited the powder and then ultimately cause a chain reaction, send the bullet down. Well, since I mentioned hunting, I might as well bring up the issue of ethics. So whenever you're going out there in the woods, and we're talking deer here, okay, if you're going out after a deer, you want to make sure that you have an ethical shot, meaning you're going to drop that animal the best you can, hopefully in one shot, and in this case you only get one shot. So taking an inaccurate or a defective gun out into the woods is just a bad idea. Now, if you get out there and you just want to kill something, or you just want to get those antlers, you don't care how you get it, you need to get the hell out of the woods, go back to your mom's basement and leave it up for the big boys, because we're out there making ethical shots. Today we're going to check out the accuracy on this thing and see, do I want to take this out in the season this year to make an ethical shot? Out there I set the steel swinger about 50 yards. Now a lot of your shots are probably going to be inside of that, but realistically that's what we're looking at. So let's see how she groups up. Alright, then let's get her loaded up. Now with the flintlock, you're going to make sure that you have your eye protection on. Now it's not particularly loud, but I'm always wearing my ear protection. So first and foremost, you're going to take measure of your powder charge. I'm using FFG Goex, and I'm going to put approximately 70 grains in there by volume. That'll be the main charge. Okay, now that we're all set on that, then you are going to take a patch. Now I got a lubricated patch here that's going to be 0.10 thickness, and this is going to be a 530 ball for the 54 caliber. There you do. Add it on top. highly recommend using a ball starter. Ram it home. Make sure it's good and seated. Okay. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your 4F priming powder, prime the pan. Okay. Set your frizzen. Let's get going on this thing. Add a non-ignition. When it doesn't go off, you want to give it a second because it might still go off. That's why they call it a Flintlock. It made me flinch like all hell. Let's load it back up. Let's see how we did. Well, 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 would you look at that. So I'm not gonna lie, after the first couple shots I started thinking that this is gonna be a big nope factory. But if you actually look at the group, not bad. Aiming point was right here, so obviously I either got to up the charge or adjust the sights. I'm thinking up the charge because I only put 70 grains in there, so no wonder it's dropping like that. But that's pretty consistent right here and down there, not bad. So after I started working through some of the malfunctions, what I neglected to do was I didn't do a blank shot just to ensure I was getting proper ignition. But as soon as I started getting my good ignition, it was pretty consistent. Okay, I don't know if it was just maybe some leftover oil from storage, or I don't know, but as soon as it started firing, it didn't stop firing. It's a lot more fun than you think. Loading it takes a little while, and ignition issues can be a frustration, but as soon as you can get things moving, boy is it fun. So would I take this thing out in the woods? After doing a little bit more testing on it and making sure my load is set, I am convinced, based on the group that we had down there, that yeah, I would take it with me. But I just need to make sure I work up that correct load. Even if I'm not out hunting though, this thing's just a fun shooter. As soon as you work through some of the frustration and the malfunctions in it, it's actually a lot of fun. The nostalgia of it is, it's really something else. I don't know. But anyway guys, hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. We'll probably go ahead and do more primitive ones as we go along. Unfortunately, it's the only flintlock I got right now, but we'll see if we can find something a little bit better than this old gal. Alright, next time guys.